All right, we're fixing this old Cushman 36-volt golf cart, and it had some melted wires. And I'll show you the speed controller here, kind of how they function. These resistor-based speed controllers are neat. It's simple, but you got to be careful about weak connection points like this, because it will cause further problems and continue to melt the weakest points, the weakest connection points along here. So this is what happened on the most obvious one that we had, and it was sluggish and wouldn't want to go, and was inconsistent when you'd push on the pedal. And the further we dug in, the more we saw as to why. So these speed controllers, how they function, I'm going to show you how they function. And it's the same concept with any resistor-based speed controller. You have a brush armature type thing that will slide across different connection points, and that as it slides across the connection points, of course, you'll also have a micro switch. So the micro switch will allow the contactors to click on when you start pushing the pedal. So when it hits this first contact, what happens is the current will flow through here and into, you can see we follow this wire. This wire will go out to that, which goes over to the top piece there, which is a connection to this top resistor. And then what happens is the current will flow on this first connection point. The current will flow all the way through every one of these resistors down to this bottom point here. And at the bottom point, it goes out, and this wire here was connected to the right here. And so it would flow out of this point, and this wire goes around to here, to the motor. So it will flow out and go to the motor. And when the current's going all the way through these steel resistors, it'll generate heat, of course, but it also causes a lot of voltage sag from to the motor. So then the voltage is what changes the speed on these motors, and so the voltage will be sagging. It'll be fine before the speed controller, but then after, where it comes out of the speed controller, the voltage sags a lot, and it causes the cart to move slower because the voltage is sagging. And as you move this brushed pedal, as you push on the pedal, and it moves the brush to the next connection point, it bypasses one of the resistors. So now with the brush here, and this only has a couple different connections, but with the brush there, it bypasses this resistor and gives it a little less resistance, so the voltage ain't sagging quite as much, and it goes through these other two. And then when we push on the pedal full throttle, with this one at least, it bypasses the rest of the resistors, and we end up coming out, I think, yep, yeah. So we end up coming out of here. This is where that last one was. It comes right out, goes across here, and then that wire that was connected there, the current goes right to that wire into the motor, bypassing all of the resistors along the way. So then it's just full throttle. At that point, you're pretty much just pulling power right out of the battery with no speed controller. And so on this one here, we had this fused out, this little bus bar here fused out on this, and so we're going to try to salvage that. I'll replace those with some short wires. But that's how these systems work, and there's different variations of them. These ones I can't say are my favorite kind. I do like the E-Z-Go ones. They seem to hold up a little bit better. These ones tend to get real dirty right back here by the wheels. The E-Z-Go ones are typically up under there, and the pedal moves the brush and then controls the resistor that's in the middle, and then that goes back to the motor. A little less dust back there, but that's how these systems work. And you always want to keep an eye out for weak connection points that are melting. Any melted wire that's starting to happen, fix it. Find the problem, check how tight the nuts are. This cart, when I got here, the main connection points here and here were loose, and that probably is what caused the rest of this to the weakest connection points here to further weaken and melt. And so figured I'd share that with you.